Welcome, everyone. My name is Susan Allan, and I am so thrilled to have you with us today for this very, very unique event with Marci Preble. And today we're going to be talking about localized patching protocols and the 24-hour system for healing, repair, and restoration. And many of you know Marci Preble, who is a remarkable brand partner in Lifewave. She is one of the most successful in all of the United States. She is a dear friend, and Marci and I have done 41 shows so far, and they are recorded for you on my YouTube channel. And that is youtube.com/Susan Allan 2001. And many of you know my name is Allan. So today we are going to be talking about head-to-toe healing, but targeted, specific healing that raises the momentum by placing patches, popping the spot, as Marci is famous for saying, so that you are focusing the results with more speed, so that you get the results you need and symptom relief you need faster and faster and faster. And I have been experimenting with this for a long time, and so I'm going to be talking about my own results and exactly how I do this, and so is Marci. And I want to remind each of you that Lifewave has 100 patents because these patches and products have been proven to work. And you can find these patents on the science page of your own individual website or on the Lifewave website if you're not yet a brand partner. And I also want to remind you that my guests aren't diagnosing, they're not treating any of us. They are explaining to you what they have discovered with their patients and their clients and themselves. So that is what we are offering you because Lifewave products work. I learned something really amazing from Marci last night. She learned it from Dr. Nicholas, which is that we can eliminate nerve pain by breaking the electrical connection by placing an X39 on either the C5, which is in the back of your neck, or the L5, which is on your back. And you want to go online and look for a chiropractic map of the spine. It comes with all the labels. It shows you all the cervical spots, all the back spots, and all the other spots. And it's really important if you've got continuing pain. And so later today, we're going to be talking about the IceWave patches and the Nirvana patch system that breaks the electrical connection as well. And so now we're giving you additional methodologies so that everyone can live pain-free ASAP. And you know that I've been offering the 14 pain relief protocols. It started out as 9, and now as of today, I have a few more to add for all of you. So please be sure to email me, susan@susanallan.org, if you want the all patch poster, if you want Micah Clark's protocols that are really remarkable, if you want pain relief protocols, and now as of today, we have localized patching protocols. So now this is 4 documents you can get from me if you want. And they work. They're amazing.
And that is the protocol for nerve pain. C5 for everything that hurts on top, and L5 for everything that hurts on bottom. Is that simple enough, Susan?
Absolutely. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And this is really new information. So I want to make sure that everybody has it. And again, if you don't have it, or if you miss part of this show, it will be recorded and on YouTube, and you can ask me via email for the information in a written form. We want to make sure that each and every one of you who's using Lifewave uses it in all of the ways that it changes your life and functionality of your body and your brain. So apropos of this specific, talking about the spine, I had an unpleasant car accident some months ago, and I heard this really ominous click in two of my vertebrae, and that is the very last thing I ever wanted to hear. So I immediately began to put the X39 on that spot during daylight hours, and then when I changed patches, I put the Eon on that spot the nighttime hours. And in a few months, there was no more click. Now, this is huge because I used to have chiropractic adjustments 3 times each week. And I actually had a boyfriend who was a chiropractor, and then I would have chiropractic adjustments twice a day. So I understand how ominous it is if you've got a challenge with your vertebrae. This is nothing to be ignored. And within months, it totally disappeared. And more important, it was a serious car accident. I had no pain at all. I honestly didn't know I'd been through that unpleasant experience. And it is just, to me, another example of the miraculous result of symptom elimination with Lifewave patches.
You know, what I love about that, Susan, is what you just said about how you put the X39, like right where it was hurting, like right on, I believe it was on your spine, right? Because that's where you had the problem. And what's brilliant is then our patches are 12 hours on to activate and repair and 12 hours off. I've never thought about this. I always wear those two together, right? But Susan wanted 24-hour care on the spot. Genius. And so she did 12 hours on that spot. And then she took it off because you need to take it off 12 on, 12 off, 12 on, 12 off, because we are light. And if you wear a patch 24 hours over and over again, your body gets used to the signal and it doesn't work as well. So you must go 12 hours on, 12 hours off. But every patch has its own 12-hour clock. So here's Susan. I'm going to give it 24 hours with the 2 best patches. I'm going to do X39 for the first 12 hours, take it off, put Eon on the same spot next 24 hours. Next 12 hours. It's genius. So I just thought, like, well, it's funny because I still have a lot of colon issues from all the chemo I had back in the day. And sometimes at night, Susan, my colon just is bloated and it hurts. And you know what I do? I just go, I'm hurting. I put an X39 Eon carnosine ice wave. Boom. I just put it right where it's hurting. And I guess you just gave me permission to do that. Like, it's okay.
Please do. And by the way, as I'm going to speak about a lot of my own experiences, I wear the Eon at night directly over my large intestine every night. And if I have another ache, pain, whatever it is, someplace in my body, I move it during the 12 hours. Like a couple of nights ago, suddenly a lymph in the breast started to be achy. I don't know why. I don't care why anymore. That's the best part. I literally don't care why. It was the middle of the night. I put the Eon that was usually on my intestine digestive issue. Nope, I moved it over to my breast, and the discomfort disappears on my body in about 15 minutes. That is the result of my using the crystals that are in the Eon in another form for 20 odd years. So I have been able to prove the effectiveness of the Eon patch for 24 years because I know what the component of the crystal is. So in 15 minutes, I have no more inflammation wherever that Eon has been placed. Pain gone, issue gone. Now,
it's funny you should say that. I just do all this, but I've never really talked about it because this is stuff you kind of do at home for yourself. And David always says 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Every patch has its own clock. I mean, that's of course. But you know what I did the other night? I just thought of this. I had the colon issue and I had an E on and an X39 there. And then I also, after chemo, sometimes my ears, they just hurt. Like there's still a residual of pain and earache kind of thing. And sometimes it just pops up. And instead of moving it, I literally had my sleeve next to me while I was sleeping, and I just put another one on.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
It was
I
perfect
want to
for me.
Yeah, I want you to start thinking, everybody who's watching this show today and every day that they, when it's recorded and we're on YouTube, look in the mirror, look at yourself, have a notepad, make notes of areas in your body and brain that need greater functionality, elimination of pain, symptom relief, you name it. And I'm going to give you my list just today in this show briefly, so you get the picture. Now, I look like the picture of health, and I am the picture of health. And I had all these little annoying things, and some of them weren't so little. So I started by noticing top of my head hair. By making sure I added the X49, I have twice the hair that you saw if you saw Marci in my first show 2.5 years ago, when I had thin, short hair.
Where are you putting that X49? Are you like putting it up here?
I don't, because I'm more concerned about belly fat. So I put it below my belly button because that's more important to me. But if I were an older woman, as I am, and I had a serious hair issue, then it definitely would have been in the back of my neck, for sure. And thank you for that question, because that proves that Marci really is, right on there. She gets that we want to put these patches as close to the issue as we possibly can if we have an issue. Now, if you want full body healing, then you do it back of the neck, below the belly button. That's for the full body. But I am now currently all about focus, speed, and the biggest results. So top of the head, hair. Next, eyebrows. X49 brought my outer thirds of my eyebrows, which is a big issue for older women. I've got perfect eyebrows again. Brain. My brain is faster than it was 40 years ago. 40 years ago. My memory is faster than it was then. ADD, gone. ADHD, gone. That is thanks to adding the carnosine to the X39 and the Eon. Because carnosine for brain, well, it's going in the back of my neck, that's for sure, on that bump that sticks out of the vertebra, because it's closer to my brain, obviously. Next, eyes. I had a horrible diagnosis 5 months ago. I said to the doctor, I'm getting my eye pressure down. I'm not kidding around. Wait and see. And the eye doctor said to me, yeah, sure. I said, I'm serious. And in 4 months, my eye pressure was 50% of what it had been. Dr. Karen Kahn's eye protocol. It's on YouTube, or email me, I'll send it to you. I did a bunch of other things, like I got rid of all the sugar in my diet, and I did some other things as well. And I'm telling you, it was the eye protocol and eliminating sugar from my diet. But guess what? If I didn't have SP6, which balances your sugar in your system, I wouldn't have been able to walk past the displays of Easter candy and keep walking. Never happened before, not a year of my life have I avoided Easter candy. Thanks to SP6, I can. Next, you know about skin and the immune system with Alavita. Marci will be discussing it. And now she's going to talk a little bit more about the activation and regeneration protocol. She already talked about the X39 and the Eon, but I really want you to have a few minutes of Marci explaining activation and regeneration protocol.
I will. Before I say that, I just have to say, you know, I had this big old wrinkle right here. You know what I put here every night? Alavita. I just pop Alavita right there. I love, Susan, that you gave us permission to pop the spot wherever we feel the issue. And you said something to me yesterday, and I love it. What did you say about, like, if you have a dirty carpet in the living room? Like, what did you say? Because it was so fun. It was just perfect.
Thank you. You know, let's make things really simple for people and funny if we can, right?
Yeah.
So if I need my carpet in the living room to be clean, I'm not going to be vacuuming the bathroom. Far, far, far away. Be practical. Be rational. Get momentum and speed going. And so the idea, I understand why David said that. Make it simple for people. Back of your neck, below your belly button, done. I get it. Except that for some of us who haven't had perfect health, or some of us who want now to have perfect health immediately, like yesterday, that's why these localized protocols really work. Pop the spot.
I love that. If you have a dirty carpet, vacuum the carpet in the living room. Don't clean the bathroom floor. I thought that's all I needed yesterday. I got it. So let's talk about some of the patch. Categories? I think it's important for people to know generally what the category of the patches are. And we already talked about stem cell activation and regeneration, with these really being the building blocks of our line. It starts with activating your stem cells so that they can hone into the issues of inflammation and go repair, and then go to the next one and the next one. As Susan is so beautiful, but she just explained about the 6 different issues she has, and those stem cells are marching to fix that, like when she was 20. Yay. Stem cell activation and regeneration. So then you may say, well, what are the good ones for like detox and antioxidant support and like to help with my immune system? Like, what are the ones that are good for that? And I would say, and you might want to write this down, right? X39 Eon, write down, good for stem cell activation and full regeneration. Immune system would be glutathione and Alavita. And why is it? Well, glutathione activates your glutathione pathway. And the glutathione pathway does 2 things really well. It acts as a master antioxidant and a master detoxification. And what is an antioxidant? Antioxidants go after those free radicals. Free radicals are all the toxins, all the bad food, all the pollution, all the stuff in our pretty dirty environment we have that cause cell damage. Free radicals are these little, are basically, think of them as Pac-Man, eating all your cells. They're not good. So what glutathione does, it's the polar outer of all yuck: fungus, mold, virus, toxins, metals, Roundup, you name it, it's going to pull that out of your body. Alavita reduces something called oxidative stress in your body in 5 minutes. Alavita literally turns your energy field from a dark purple with holes in it to this beautiful turquoise color. That's why it's the color packaging in 5 minutes. When I saw that I wear Alavita and my energy looks like that, I was like, I like that color. So, but what is oxidative stress? Once again, free radical damage. It's just destroying your cells. So when you can reduce that in 5 minutes with this patch, no wonder the energy read of your body starts to not look so stressed out, but more like beautiful, more like water, right? It's interesting. So these 2, if you had someone that was really having detox problems or needed a strong antioxidant for, viral load or bacteria load or fungus load, right? These would be 2. So now like what this does. This would be, once again, your stem cell activation and regeneration. This would be your immune support. And the ones for your organ support would.
Well, let's wait for a moment and let's move
yeah.
on with that so that everyone has plenty of time to take notes. Okay, honey?
Yes, I love that.
Okay. So when we speak about organs, and so we've spoken now about the regeneration of your whole body.
Yes.
Now we've spoken about your immune system, so regenerating and repairing your whole immune system.
Yes.
Now we're getting even more specific, drilling down, if you will. So when you asked Marci, you know, at 20, everything was functioning well. Well, the only part of me that wasn't was the lung function that I just never had. I had asthma, and it was, you know, it was a real serious problem for me. I got myself to the point before Lifewave almost 3 years ago when I wasn't on medication anymore. So I was able to have enough healing. However, when I started to swim laps, I had to stop and I had to take like gulps of air and then I would swim another 10 laps and, you know, all that. As soon as I had the X39 and the Eon, it hit me that I could put the X39 and the Eon on my lungs. And so what I've been doing is I've been doing a cycle of healing. I'll focus on one part of the body and get that healed. Then I'll go, okay, what's the next part? And then I'll, you know, really focus, high level of attention, put the patches there. So for the lungs, it was the X39 on my left lung, and then the next day on my right lung during the day.
Mm.
And the Eon on my left lung at night, and the Eon on my right lung at night the next day. So completely focused, because again, I wanted 24 hours of healing.
Mm-hmm.
And you can only use either of those for 12 hours a day. And those are the two. The X39 is repairing and restoring your stem cells and your function. And I didn't know about carnosine in those days. Now, Marci's going to explain carnosine in a minute. And so probably I would have figured out and I would add the carnosine to that protocol. Okay, tell us about organ.
And I will in a minute, but you just keep surprising me today. We have to go a little deeper on the one lung, other lung, okay? Because wow, I haven't really thought about that, but my son has always sinus issues, and so I'm thinking about it for him. But let me first understand the lung, and I'm going to generalize to the sinus to make sure.
I have had clients. I had a client who had a continuing sinus issue.
Yes.
And so that's inflammation.
Yep.
So Eon, and because it was right in the middle of her face, we had her do that at night, those 12 hours. And then I said, whenever she was home and nobody was going to see her, she could do the same thing by moving her X39 to her face.
Okay, so let me go back to the lungs, and then I want to go to the face. So yes. The lungs. Okay, let me see if I understand. You've had, you know, symptoms of asthma, lung stuff since you were a little girl. And, you know, when you X39, also the GHK copper peptide that it elevates does a great job at reducing scar tissue. So and Eon reduces inflammation. Like I just see why it would work so well. But just so I understand, you're like, I want 24 repair. I want both lungs hit. So you did X39 on like the left lung. And then at night you put an Eon there. And then the next day you put an X39 on the right lung. And at night, an Eon. And you're getting full stem cell regeneration and repair for full 24-hour cycle, moving back and forth.
And going from having to stop to breathe to swim 40 laps to being able to swim 84 laps, if I want to put the time into it, with no need to stop and breathe, is a miracle for me.
How did you go again? You how many laps you do with no issues?
The maximum is 84.
With no issues.
No issues. And Marci, I had a friend who had a collapsed lung and he had 1,000 other issues. And I actually sent them a 1-month supply of the X39 and a 1-month supply of the Eon, so a sleeve of each.
Yeah.
And I said, which is the collapsed lung? And his wife, my dear friend, told me. And I said, okay, this is what you're doing. So he only had one lung that was a problem. And so the X39 during the days, the Eon at night, the guy was amazed. The pain disappeared
Wow.
very quickly. We're talking days, not weeks.
So I'm going to use for my son X39 Eon and glutathione. And his issue is he's here, he's here, he's here. I think I'm going to run a little triangle and see. And I would run the day and night, but I don't know if he'd wear it around his face during the day. I get the face problem, but I like the idea of like a penetration and maybe even Alavida, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 for him. I just never, and why would I say that? Because X39 is your repair. Eon's going to reduce the inflammation. I'm going to be honest. So the snot comes out is awful. It gets all plugged in here. I hope that's not gross, but it's real. Glutathione is going to take all the bacteria and virus, going to work on that. And Alavida is going to build up, all the, it's going to attack the free radicals that are just causing all that problem. Like, boom, like, wow, this has been good today. This is like real practical knowledge today, real mama knowledge. So,
and don't forget that the contents of the Eon patch, superoxide dismutase, is the only thing that exists on the planet Earth that takes free radicals, which are damaged oxygen molecules, and turns them back into oxygen.
oh, I did.
That is the most important product besides the X39 from where I'm sitting. I've been taking SOD every single day since 1994, because in 1994, I learned what it did. So it is as much of a miracle as the copper peptide reactivation of your stem cells. Okay.
So superoxide dismutase takes the oxidated, what does it do again?
It takes damaged oxygen molecules, which are called free radicals. That's what a free radical is, a damaged oxygen molecule. And it takes them, and SOD bonds with that free radical, and it becomes a healthy oxygen molecule again.
Wow.
That's why it changes lives for athletes.
That's why.
And everybody else.
My colon does so well, because that's why I do wheatgrass colonics, is I need more oxygen for some of the fast growing cell issues I have, and also for the bacterial loads I have. So I never really understood how that works. So it's making more oxygen to go after it. Just like when you work out, you make more oxygen, which is good. You know what's interesting? Did you know Eon also increases SOD, superoxide dismutase?
No, Eon is the one that does.
It does, but also Alavida reduces oxidative stress. So those two work together.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then glutathione comes in with the
Gotcha.
A1 punch. And that's why X39 Eon, Alavida, and glutathione are like I do not go without those four. And today we're seeing why.
Absolutely. This is really huge. Really huge. And there's so much more. We could do a 4-hour show on this.
Oh, absolutely.
However,
let's talk about organ support. I love that now we're talking about real issues. Let's talk about Susan's lungs. She's been doing X39 and Eon, but we have 2 other patches that really help with organ protection. That would be carnosine and X49. Both, let's talk carnosine first. It's the supporter of all organs, your lungs, your heart, your brain, your kidneys, your pancreas, your colon. It loves your organs. It's also a protector of something called your telomeres. And telomeres are like the lady fingers on your DNA. Trust me when I say the longer they are, the longer you live. When they stub down to nothing, you die. So you want your telomeres protected. So I think of carnosine as the protector. And you can, and I love carnosine, honestly. It's so weird that we're talking lung and heart and organs, but I put it right on my heart. I just love it on my chest. It just feels good there. And I understand why, is because it's the protector of my heart, you know? And the other patch is called X49. And X4, let me first show you what carnosine looks like. That's carnosine. And X49 supports your muscles. It's actually, and hair, it's the daughter peptide of GHK. It's called AHK. And guess where it's found? In your brain, in your heart, all your muscles, but particularly in your heart and your brain. And what it does is it supports your brain and your heart. It also supports blood flow. It builds lean muscle mass. It grows bones. It grows hair. And it actually acts as a Faraday cage or a protector from cell phone radiation. Like I look at X49 and say, what doesn't it do? Oh, and men, it builds testosterone. So, but when someone tells me that they would like brain support, what am I going to make sure is for them? Carnosine and X49. If somebody says, boy, they really need some immune support, what am I going to make sure is that I tell them about? Glutathione and Alavita. What are always my building block before all? Eon and X39. Does that make sense? So if someone said, boy, I really would like heart protection, brain protection, blood flow, I'd say, well, that would be X39, Eon, X49, and carnosine. If somebody said, oh, wow, I really have viral load I need to work on, well, that would be X39, Eon, glutathione, and Alavita. Now, what if somebody had sleep or they want joy? We might get into that in a minute. That might be just different.
Just a minute. We'll do the unique purpose patches, of which we have many. I wanted to let everyone know again about a localized patching protocol, another one that changed my life. I always ate spicy food. I like spicy food. And one night I thought I was having a heart attack because acid reflux feels like a heart attack. Now, I want to be clear here. If you think you need to call 911 about a cardiac issue, do so. I knew that that was not the issue because I knew what I had just eaten. And I knew it was very spicy. And I figured, let's just see, which is my attitude often. I put the Eon on because I'd already changed my patches and now it was night and Eon. I put the Eon directly where the excruciating pain was in my chest. Excruciating. When the pain is so bad you break out in a sweat, that's what I call real pain. In 5 minutes, the pain was 100% gone on my chest, and it didn't go out to my shoulders. It didn't radiate, nothing. But I also knew I had pain in my back because when you have esophageal pain from eating spicy foods, if your body suddenly can't tolerate it, the pain is front and back. So I took the patch, the Eon, I put it on my back, popped the spot, as Marci so brilliantly says, pain gone. Now, here's the best part of the whole story to me. This happened 10 times over a period of 6 weeks. You would have hoped I would have given up spicy foods, but I'm sorry to tell you I hadn't. I limited it. I didn't eat them as late as night, whatever, but I still had the symptoms. But 6 weeks later, no symptoms, no acid reflux, cured of the symptom, it's gone. I ate spicy food last night, Thai food, no problem. So this is a huge breakthrough for people who believe, Marci, that they have to suffer with things forever. And I just want to add one small piece to what you said a moment ago, Marci. a lot of people have not read the all patch poster that you told me about and that I've sent out to a lot of people. They haven't read it. And if you don't have it, ask me for it, because I will take the time to email each and every one of you as I do. And X39 has the ability to be an anti-cancer product. It says it right there. And it also stops the spread of cancer cells. It says it right there. Now, I don't want to get into the technical terms that people find confusing, apoptosis and metastasis. If you don't like the words, just know what I said. Prevents and prevents. That's all we need to know, right?
It's pretty amazing. You know, it's that GHK copper peptide. And it's one of the reasons that when I went and looked at GHK copper peptide and what it does, it's one of the reasons because I had fast growing cells and I needed apoptosis, which is the killing of fast growing cells that aren't good. And I needed to prevent them from ever coming back. And so, yeah, take a look at startx39now.com under the GHK section. It's amazing. But yeah.
So beautiful. Now we can speak about the products, the patches that have to do with unique benefits. Now, you've got the two, the Nirvana set and the Icewave set, that blocks the pain loop. So you probably want to discuss those. They each do. Dr. Dana Zappala talked about the Nirvana patch and the Nirvana tablets as doing that. And you'll have that in my recorded Zoom. And then Dr. Patty de Blasio talks about how the two sets of Icewave do that. But Marci, talk about those two sets. And then also we've got Silent Nights that allows you to sleep through the night, Nirvana, and SP6. So
yeah,
as many of those.
And it's so fun because we're really talking about the 24-hour clock today. Let's be honest. Like, if you really think, I got chills. If you really think about what we're talking about, we're giving you okay to work a 24-hour clock on patches and to patch the spot that's having problems for you. Like, we're just giving you permission, kind of like the mom sitting at lunch saying, well, this is what you do, you know? So here's the Icewave. So if you are having a lot of pain, then you would, of course, wear this 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So let's say most of your pain is during the day. You're just hurting. Well, you could pop the spot. Let's say it's the shoulder. You put the brown patch on the spot that hurts the most and the white patch about 3 inches away. That's breaking the connection of pain in your electrical system. My girlfriend the other day says, well, you're just breaking the electrical current of pain. I thought, wow, electrical current of pain. That's right. Just kind of like a battery. When you have a battery that you need to charge again, what do? You have a negative charge and a positive charge, and you are working the electrical current. Your body is an electrical current, just like your battery. We just are light and currents. So this actually breaks the electrical current in your body of pain. And it can do the one spot, or you can do what Dr. Patty does, because she has symptoms of MS and she has full body pain. So she'll do two sets, one on her shoulders and one under her feet. And she says she's bookending her pain. 12-hour clock. But then I had some people the other day say, I'm just not taking Icewave off. I'm not taking it off because when I take it off, I hurt. And, you know, you could probably do that a day or two, but then you can't do it more, because if you do, it will stop working well. Okay. So I know it's scary, but you got to take it off. But what can you replace it with? Nirvana system. This breaks the connection of pain through the brain. This blisses your pain away. And you go, what? Yes, it builds your endorphins, your serotonin, your dopamine. And in 6 weeks, it acts like an opiate. Can you believe it? That's what opiates do. Opiates take pain away through the brain, but it doesn't hurt you. You don't get addicted. It doesn't hurt you. What a concept. So what you do is you wear the Nirvana, and then the pills you take once a day. And guess what they're made out of? Seaweed extract. Why is that important? Because pain is toxic related. So when you pull the toxins out of your body with this pill, because seaweed in the ocean, seaweed is the cleaner of the ocean. Did you know that seaweed pulls all the toxins out of the ocean and holds them? Seaweed never lets it go. It's beautiful. Have you ever heard of dulse? That is a seaweed. Atlantic dulse, as an example. It acts like that, where it holds your toxins until you poop them out. And so the two together really not only make you happy because it activates your endorphins, like when you're running or working out. You know how you feel so good after swimming, Susan? Well, that's called endorphins and happiness. And after 6 weeks, you're so happy, you've blissed the pain away. And so there, once again, your 24-hour clock, ice wave for 12 hours during the day, Nirvana system for 12 hours at night, or the other way around. Nirvana system during the day, ice wave at night. I just really love the 24-hour clock concept that we have today.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And tell them a little bit about the SP6, if you would. And also, let's see, there are a couple that you hadn't discussed yet. So
yeah,
that
so
would be great.
SP6 is it. There's
Silent Nights.
Yeah, and energy. I'll do the 3 because
Good.
they may be their own beauty, but beautiful they are. So SP6, as Susan was saying, it stops food cravings. Bye-bye Easter candy. I didn't need that chocolate bunny, right? And it also helps support your digestion. It also helps your hormones, all your different glands, your hormone glands. And in fact, one of the reasons it works so well with digestion is, I didn't know this, but Dr. Patty told me so much of digestion is regulated by your hormonal glands. So SP6 regulates that. And then Silent Night. She taught me this one too. Once again, I don't know this all myself. I just listen to the doctors and then I re-say it. So Silent Night, you ready for this? It first activates serotonin and then turns serotonin into melatonin. I know. So my son that has anxiety issues, why do you think I just bought a whole bunch of Silent Night and Nirvana? Because he doesn't reuptake serotonin very well, and he has mass anxiety. So when of course, he can't sleep well at night. And so Silent Night for melatonin, of course, melatonin is what puts you to sleep. And it's not like you're pushing a melatonin pill. Your body's just taking what it needs. But when I found out that it first goes to serotonin and then melatonin, I'm like, oh, we're adding it. And this is one of my son's favorite patches. So X39 Eon Glutathione Silent Night, pretty much what my son uses.
And you know, Marci, I took melatonin tabs for 15 years because as you get older, your body produces less and less melatonin. But I am not a chemist, and I am not a mathematician, and I am not an accountant. And the idea of having to time the exact moment when I go to sleep and the exact amount of the melatonin tablets and the exact time I plan on waking up really wasn't fun. It really wasn't fun. And waking up too early, feeling groggy, it was ridiculous. And that was one of the things I prayed for, a miraculous solution to having a perfect night's sleep. There's nothing more perfect than putting it on, and then when I wake up, peeling it off. End of sleepiness or immediate onset of sleepiness. It's such a joy because when you have a good night's sleep, life looks like a good idea. And if you don't have a good night's sleep for a lot of days in a row, I hope you never experience this yourself. And life looks like a real slog through the mud. This one thing changes people's attitude. It's huge. Then you give them a nirvana as well, and you give them the extra energy and energy enhancer, and you give them the X39 repair things. Now they're happy to be alive.
Game changer. So let's talk about energy, because that's a game changer too. And my son likes that for different reasons. So the Nirvana and the Silent Night work on serotonin. Silent Night works on melatonin, all the things that an Eon, by the way, works to reduce inflammation and helps to calm the nervous system. Those are all very calming patches for people that need that, the nervous system being calm, that need to go into rest and digest. A lot of people that have symptoms of anxiety, they're always spinning, and you just need to calm the spin down. But energy is interesting for some people that have the spin. Have you ever heard of kids that need a little extra energy to stop the spin, right? It's like the
That's the Adderall medication crisis.
Yeah, it is.
I've helped a lot of clients get off of Adderall.
So yeah. What happens is my son also has that kind of spin, but we've never had anything that really helps until energy. And the crazy thing is, you would think energy would be the last thing he needs, but it like calms the spin down. And he puts, of course, for my son, he's figured out this spot thing way before us, because he like throws them all on his forehead because that's where his brain needs it. And plus, he just doesn't want to put them all over his body. So he put energy right there. Boom. But you can put your energy left, right. White is always on the right, and left and tan is on the left. Energy is a 2-patch system like IceWave. And what it does is it activates your mitochondria, which is your powerhouse of every cell of your body. Coach Micah likes to say it's the igniter of everything. And mitochondria, you're not alive if your powerhouse of every cell doesn't function. So you need to have mitochondria support. Ladies, also, the energy patch turns fat into energy, and you will have the best workout ever, and you will feel really good all day, whether you're working full-time, taking care of kids, or vacuuming that dirty carpet. You're going to have the energy for it. And so I have been so pleasantly surprised on energy for my son and for me for different reasons, but we both really like it.
I wear it every single day. I also learned from Micah, and I have a recording of his show. He was brilliant. And he informed us that you put the white on right first.
Oh.
And then you put the tan on left. He uses it on the top of his foot, about a half an inch back from where the large toe and the second toe meet. So that's what I do. Now, of course, I have learned today that I have to take a little bit extra time and rub each patch as I apply them. So that's a whole new thing. And for the energy enhancer, he calls it the pilot light, which is easy to remember.
Dan?
You're not going to be able to do anything with your stove if your pilot light is out, or with your water heater. So the ATP, which is the content, that's what the crystal is in the energy enhancer patches. And it is your pilot light. And I need a lot of pilot light. And so does Marci.
I love that. And what is ATP? Is that just what is that? What does that mean?
Adenotriphosphate.
And is that the energy of your cell? Is that what energy is turning on? The ATP is the energy of every cell. It's turning it on.
It's what gets it going. And you can look it up on Wikipedia. I did. And again, if you need help, Susan at susanallan.org, and that's ALLAN. And I've got lots of documents I'm excited to share with you about all of this from all of the guests for the last almost 3 years.
Wow.
So yeah.
Good
Everything,
learning.
you know, everything is about information and practice. That's what it is. Healing is really that. And you have to be an outside the box thinker. And obviously, every single one of us watching the show and on this show is an outside the box thinker, because light therapy at this point in human history is still a very outside the box understanding. It is new science. And thank God for David Schmidt and that we have this, right?
Absolutely. Thank goodness. Thank goodness that we said yes to light.
Exactly. So cool. Because, you know, we said yes to light because we were saying yes to life,
Yeah.
because many of us, like Marci and I, did everything we possibly could to find great healing. And thank God, because of Lifewave, we now have it. And I am not exaggerating, right?
That's right.
We are totally beholden to David Schmidt for this. It is a miracle.
Yes.
So thank you, everybody. Let's see. Oh, two more quick things. So as I work down my body, now we got to digestion and elimination. So I wear the Eon patch at night over my large intestine, unless I have to move it somewhere else. And I now, during the day, because I'm going, as I said, through focused healing of different parts of my body, I use the X39 during the day. I wear it directly over my bladder. I used to have all these UTIs intermittently, and then I had none, thank goodness, because of Lifewave. Then I had retracing, and I said, wait. I am so done with this. So now the X39, 12 hours a day, right over my bladder. And remember, I move them as needed. When I went to the dentist, I went to the dentist with an Eon patch on my face before he drilled and replaced a filling.
Mm.
Nice man, didn't make fun of me at all. And the night before and the day before, as I was, you know, waiting to get the appointment and all that, I still had a couple of hours when I was feeling nervous. I didn't want any pain. Zero discomfort, of course, zero pain. Either the X39 or the Eon, depending on the time of day, right there. Pop the spot. As our fearless leader, Marci, says.
Love that. You know, I really, my other lesson today is just put it where you want, where you need the support. Use the clocks 24-hour, like 12 hours, but you can support yourself 24 hours. And you are good. You are just good.
And we're going to be so healthy every single day for the rest of our lives. If we continue with this, we will be astonished. And when we look back at our ancestors and our grandparents and parents and whatever who just didn't have this, we are going to quadruple or more our incredible gratitude. And our gratitude to Marci Preble, who is the person who I learned about Lifewave from through my friend Carol Lazar. Otherwise, I never would have known about her. So thank you, Marci, from the bottom of all of our hearts.
You're welcome. I'm glad I found it and shared it.
No kidding. So the next show is May 11th with Dr. John Harmon. If you have watched him, he always has something remarkable and new and scientific to share. If you haven't watched him yet, I had him as my guest twice. It's on my YouTube channel, and it's youtube.com/Susan Allan 2001. Marci and I have done 41 shows. They are all there for you. Please watch them. And for those of you who've been so sweet and thanked me and thanked Marci and told us what a difference these shows make, I am truly, truly grateful. And if you don't know about the patches because you haven't used them yet, please call your friend who told you about this show and ask your friend how you can order these patches so you too can be amazingly healthy and symptom-free. So thank you. And I know Marci and I love you, and we are thrilled to see you, and I will see you on May 11th. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your